you know, everybody talks about The Shining like it's Kubrick's scariest movie, like it's his most creepy, most effective, just the best movie he's ever done. And I'll give him that. You know, this is a very intense movie between the twins and the blood and Jack just losing his damn mind. This is a masterpiece of a film, first of all. We don't even talk about it on this channel because it's in my top 3 favorite movies of all time. This is a masterpiece of Kubrick history. This is such a good fucking movie, and I worship it. I know everything about it. I've got it memorized frontwards and backwards, but I think when you're talking about Stanley Kubrick, his scariest film is not The Shining. It's not even Eyes Wide Shut, which is a pretty creepy movie that's very, you know, hip to what's going on in the current times. These current political times are going through. But I think for my money, dude, Stanley Kubrick's scariest film is 1987's Full Metal Jacket. I mean, this shit bothered me on first watch. It still does, to be honest with you. This is a movie. It says right across the top, acclaimed by critics as the best war movie ever made, and I think it is. And if you didn't know this about me, I'm a huge fan of war movies, period pieces. It doesn't matter which war. It's a weird subgenre that I've been obsessed with since I was a little kid. There's something so terrifying and kind of like, there's just something that kind of pulls me in as a viewer personally. As a guy, things I aspire to, like a war film. The camaraderie, the faith, the country, it's powerful, man. And Full Metal Jacket changed my life when I first seen it. This is my original copy from, I want to say 6th grade. So we're talking like 1995, 94. It's got coffee stains on it. It's got cigarette burns. And if you look at it, it stopped right at the end of part 1 because Full Metal Jacket is a 2-parter. It's a 2-part movie, if you ask me. The first part is a complete hellscape of the worst psychological terror I've ever seen in a movie, especially a war movie, right? A coming-of-age Lord of the Flies, the worst possible scenario, losing your ever-loving goddamn mind. Full Metal Jacket is terrifying as a film. Terrifying. And then there's part 2. A little after an hour goes by, you end up in Vietnam and you've got Joker's story and you've got Animal, you've got all these other, you got the sniper. Great second half of a movie too, but it's really uneven, I think, because the first part breaks you down, the viewer, so far psychologically that you're just stripped down to bare wood. There's nothing you can do to get away from this movie. You're traumatized. At least I was. This movie has a legend and a reputation and a lore about it that I just could not get enough of, man. I was obsessed with this movie. Obsessed. I'm talking like, I'm not really one to be like super political or patriotic on this channel. I'm really not that much in real life either. I'm kind of more of a punk rocker, if you know what I mean. But growing up, all my friends, you would chant the Marine Code. You would chant the different songs, right? You knew everything about it. It was so powerful, man. And so let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the first half especially. So Full Metal Jacket, it's about a system that takes perfectly normal people and it turns them into something else. That's what's so great about this movie. That's what works. When we're first dropped into Paris Island, it's not just our first day at boot camp, it's our first day in the machine, the war machine, as Kiss might say, right? A cold, calculated, psychological grinder. Just hell. Just absolute hell. And our shepherd through this mountain of cold, calculating darkness is Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. And he's unlike anyone you will ever experience before. I don't know if you would say like he's a cinematic villain, like one of the best of all time, because he's just there to do a job. He's just there to do a job. And you're supposed to do your fucking job real well and beat the sissy out of some of these Marines and turn them into a fucking killing machine, right? Born to kill. That's his job. Hartman is the man. R. Lee Ermey is one of the best character actors ever. I love his performance, and I'm terrified of him. And that's what makes this movie so great. This is the real deal. Hartman is a Marine, okay? First and foremost, whatever that is, he fucking means it, right? You take whatever preconceived notions you had about the service and a man fighting for his country, the romanticizing the uniform, you throw all that stuff out of the window. Welcome to war is how Full Metal Jacket starts, by shaving your head and letting you know that, hey man, war is gonna be hell. Full Metal Jacket does something interesting where we're shown this new world of shit through the eyes of Private Joker and also through Private Lawrence, aka Gomer Pyle. Okay? It's not going to be pleasant. We have all the jokes now about fat body this and how many jelly donuts in your Foot Locker and you climb like old people fuck. All that kind of stuff is funny now, and it's part of like common culture. It's really in everyone's DNA at this point because everyone's seen this movie. At least I hope so. Full Metal Jacket is a masterpiece, man. Absolutely. But Hartman was not just yelling for fun, you guys. He was yelling for purpose. He's breaking them down. He's rewiring them. He's stripping them down to, like we were talking about earlier, to bare wood. And you watch it happen slowly, uncomfortably. Pyle starts off awkward. He starts off soft. He starts off human, and you can laugh it off at first. We kind of all do because it's so uncomfortable that you need to get away from this movie, so we make jokes about it, right? But he's getting bullied, like, by everybody. And he's not putting in the work, and maybe it's not totally even fair to judge him the same as everybody else, right? Maybe not everyone is cut out to be a Marine. Maybe he chose the wrong path, okay? But for movie's sake, you laugh him in at first, but then it just stops being funny, and it stops being funny real fucking quick because they aren't just trying to train him, they are trying to destroy him. And that's what happens. The insults, the punishment, it's survival of the fittest, and everyone's trying to save themselves. And that's the horror. It's not just like one villain, it's everyone. And then you see it. You see him break in this movie. You really do. The look in Pyle's eyes, the flat, empty, gone look that he has in this film when he just, his data just turns off. His computer goes offline. When that happens, man, he's being rebuilt, right? He's not necessarily weak, but he's also not really just something happens to him. Like, you can see that psychological break. If you've had people that have been strung out, or you've watched them like go through a traumatic event, you see that switch happen, man, it's one of the scariest things you can ever see. I've watched a lot of people go through this, working in human services, working for the state of Oregon. It happens all the time. It happens more than you would know. But imagine happening and then also having an M14 in your hand. What can happen? Dude, it's intense. It's a problem. And it's not the human problem, it's the system. Humanity's the defect in this movie, right? They're going to break him down slowly, deliberately until that smile just completely disappears. And it does, man. It does. When we get to the bathroom scene, that's the scariest thing I think I've ever seen in a movie. I've got certain jump scares that I love. Everyone's got certain horror scenes that they go back to that scared them as a kid. But certain things just continue to like unnerve me with movies. And a lot of times those are not horror movies that those things happen in, right? A lot of people talk about Mulholland Drive and the homeless person scene, the way he sets up that story, that David Lynch movie, that's an incredible non-horror kind of linear tale that he's telling. The bathroom scene in Full Metal Jacket, dude, for my money is the scariest scene out there. That's not a horror movie. I don't even know how to compare it to, because what's happening to Pyle's not struggling anymore. He's gone. He's sitting in that bathroom with a rifle in his hand. He is not a man. He's a result. And the scariest part, never even made it to war. This is the human condition. Like, we broke him down. We made this happen. The damage was already done at that point. And so what happens, the bathroom scene in Full Metal Jacket is easily, like I said, the most disturbing scene that Kubrick ever put to film. And it's not loud. It's extremely quiet. There's no real music. There's this kind of weird humming sound, almost like you're going to brush your teeth, but there's a static light on. There's this weird glowing sound to that scene. No buildup, no warning, just the weird, awful fluorescent lighting, like a hospital or even a fucking morgue. It's uncomfortable, is what I'm trying to say. And then you see him, you see Pyle, he's just sitting there. He's just sitting there with the rifle in his lap, talking to it like it's a person. And right there, you know something's wrong. You know, like, we got a problem in this movie, dude. Things are going to go south really quick because it's calm. And the whole 45 to 50 minutes, whatever that was, an hour before, it was fast paced. It was pounding him into the dirt and teaching him and just bullying him, just breaking him down to that bare wood. And so when it finally just stops, Kubrick gives you this weird absence of sound, and the fear takes over, because you can see in Pyle's eyes that he's just sitting there. Joker comes in, they start arguing, things go wrong. What are you doing out here, Pyle? He starts quoting his creeds, right? 7.62 millimeter full metal jacket, and clicks, racks that fucking firearm, dude. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, one of the best scenes. For just a second, we think maybe Joker can turn this around. But you got to remember, Joker was also one of those dudes that was hitting him with the soap, just beating the crap out of his poor friend. So in a way, he's kind of the mentor, and he's not getting through to him at this point. Nothing's going to save you. No quick cut, no music, whatever the hell Pyle's become. You, the audience member, have to go through this now. For just a second, you can hear it in his voice. He's not talking to friends anymore. He's talking to something else. And then Hartman shows up, still yelling, still thinking he can get through to Pyle, still thinking he can kind of like break him down with his voice. And he's got this weird stance where he's kind of like cocks his fist, right? And he's kind of looking at him like, Pyle, what are you doing? Get on your, put down that fucking weapon. And Pyle's just like drooling on the toilet, just staring into his soul, man. Pyle is still a recruit. He's still in training. He is the end result of all of this damage that you put on him, dude. Man. And when Hartman gets shot, it's like all of a sudden this cartridge ripples through his chest. It's slow motion. He falls backwards. There's still hardly any music. He hits the deck, and we think it's over. Of course it's not. We're going to be talking about this scene for 12 minutes. If you know, you know. It ends with a bullet, and it cuts real quickly, and we end up in Vietnam. And we, the audience, were just traumatized, man. We're just like, how in the fuck did that even happen, dude? Full Metal Jacket scared me as a little kid. Made me afraid of like certain types of people. Like, oh my gosh, like I would never want to get yelled at by a dude like that. Like, I think a lot of people, I played a lot of sports growing up, and I was really into competition, you know, and I like someone that coaches me hard. But the way that he's coached and the way these people pick on this dude, man, it's fucking ruthless. It's hard to watch. It's brutal. And it's one of my favorite movies ever. It's maybe horror adjacent, right? Because it's a military movie. It's an action movie, if you will. It's a drama at the same time. It's a little bit thriller as well. It's got some comedic value to it. There's nothing funny about Full Metal Jacket, man. Like, we quote the drill sergeant, right? We quote him now, but dude, when that was happening, I must have watched this movie 500 times, dude. Like, just the first part over and over. Like, it was so intense, man. And every time I got to that part, I was like, I just would watch Pyle unravel and just get super affected by it. Just like, dude, this is going to be intense, right? So, really, I love Full Metal Jacket, and kind of the reason that I started to make this video was I picked up another 4K. Another Marine movie that I really like with Gyllenhaal and Jamie Foxx called Jarhead. This came out, I want to say 2004, 2005. This is an incredible 4K. Looks great, amazing sound, great soundtrack. This kind of has that same narration that Joker has, the Full Metal Jacket. And I'm watching it last night, and I was like, this isn't as good as Full Metal Jacket. This is a really good movie, but it's not Full Metal Jacket. And I was like, why have I not talked about that? That's like one of my favorite movies ever. I should bring this to the channel. That's what we do. Full Metal Jacket, right? Look at this 4K. Let's just show it to you really quick. Unbelievable, man. Incredible movie. Fucking reference quality picture. Amazing soundtrack. Like I said, the first part is some of the best cinema I've ever seen. I'm a big fan of Clockwork Orange. I'm a big fan of most Kubrick, to be honest with you. But that first half of Full Metal Jacket, it's a 10. It is absolutely incredible. And I still like the Vietnam stuff. I think there's a lot of fun jokes in there. And it's compelling. I love some of the shots, especially some of those night shots when they're going from building to building. They're dealing with that sniper. But that's kind of a different movie in a way. Like, it's really the tale of two movies. And I think that first half is some of the greatest fucking filmmaking, some of the most horrific imagery. ever, man. Like everything that happens, like all the stuff when he's getting picked on, when he's being bullied, when he's sucking his thumb and having his pants around his ankles and having to run and run and run till you puke. You are in a world of shit. And Full Metal Jacket brings it, man. I love this movie and I love you guys. It's Monday. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, talk some shit down there. Those likes are free, man. Hit that like button if you're a fan of Full Metal Jacket. You could argue there's a lot of other really good war movies out there. Give me a couple that you really love. Obviously, Patton's amazing. Platoon's amazing. I love a lot of those John Wayne ones, like All Quiet on the Western Front's banger, dude. Bridge Too Far is amazing, right? Obviously, Saving Private Ryan. A lot of people are Black Hawk Down fans. There's a lot of good war movies. Was it 1914? Amazing movie. I love anything with World War II as well, but Vietnam movies especially, man, they get into my bones. It just feels like a place we weren't supposed to be, and the horrors of war and the terror of it, it's super fascinating. I think it is definitely horror adjacent, and it just works for me. So, guys, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, take great care and get out there and rewatch Full Metal Jacket, and let me know what you think. Love you. Cheers.